Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. It's halfway over already. You guys asked me to expose the experiences that locals have had with both Gypsy and Dee Blanchard, and this is part 2 of that. You can find the link to part 1 in the description box, or you can search Trixie Lane by going to the channel and then click the videos tab. It's called Locals Have a Story to Tell, Gypsy and Dee Friend of 15 Years. Please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you wish to see more from me in the future. Part 2, as promised, is going deeper into Dee's past, where we learn more about who Dee was before Gypsy, and then how there was a major shift sometime after having Gypsy and losing her mother. So feel free to pause real quick, grab a drink and a snack, and enjoy this video. Disclaimer: because these came from private groups, pages, and posts, I have blurred out the names of those that have shared these experiences and stories. If you happen to stumble upon any of these posts or people, please remember to respect their privacy and do not contact anyone from this video. Thank you. December 27th, 2023. Tonight is the Holiday Bowl. 35 years ago, I was there. I marched in the parade, I danced for the halftime show, and we had a blast. Me and my childhood friend Dee Blanchard. Yes, if you know, you know. Our moms basically put us on a plane to San Diego for a week, and we were on our own. Every other teen there had chaperones. We just had all the junk food in the hotel we could get, laughing my ass off. I have awesome memories from that week. We had so much fun. Now, exactly 35 years later, from us dancing in California as high schoolers, her daughter, Gypsy, is coming home from jail tomorrow from being part of her murder plot. I just pray for forgiveness for all. I don't need any input about them. You never were in my shoes growing up with her, and I've yet to be able to watch any movie made about them. Dee was not my Dee that I knew, and what a trip that truly was. Was that the girls' JROTC drill team? The friend says, yes. But didn't we have some fun competition trips, didn't we? Someone says, yes, definitely. But I never heard that y'all went to Cali. Someone says, most memorable times of high school. The friend says, me, her, and Wendy. So what happened was Sergeant C's got a flyer and was asked to nominate a few girls from the drill team to be chosen to dance for the Holiday Bowl. Unfortunately, every other school's drill team was a dance team, and all we did was throw rifles around, LOL. But he continued to nominate us, and the 3 of us got picked. We showed up to California and had 2 full days of practice, and everyone else knew how to dance, and we were like, where are our rifles though? 2. Fortunately, we could dance and kicked butt and fit right in. We, me and you, were probably in 10th that year. Someone says, never knew that. What a wonderful experience. June 17th, 2015. I went to high school with Dee, and it breaks my heart that something broke within her to bring her to her demise. As a teen, she was the kindest, sweetest girl and loved her family. We both went our separate ways and hadn't seen each other since. I know life can change us, and all I can do is pray for her soul and pray for everyone involved, because something like this has a ripple effect. Someone asks, where did she grow up? The friend says, Southern Louisiana, north of Grand Isle. Someone asks, was she picked on in high school? Or anything that would explain this? Did she seem very intelligent? I would think she would have to be. The friend says, not to my knowledge. She was sweet, kind, and everyone loved her in high school. Her sister also believes something changed with Dee after her mother died. Someone asks, did Dee have a tight bond with her mother? The friend says, yes, she did. Losing her mother could have been a trauma to change her. How old was Dee when her mother passed away? The friend says, I am not sure exactly what year her mom passed away, but it was after Dee's graduation. Another friend says Dee's mom was Miss Emma Louise Petrie. She passed away June 9th of 1997. Dee was 29 or 30. Someone says, how old would Gypsy have been? This other friend says, Gypsy was born in 91, so about 6 or 7. Someone says, I'm trying to tie in Gypsy's age at the time of the incident with motorcycle and death of grandma. Someone else says Dee's nephew stated that her mother had strange tendencies when she was alive. Maybe it's inherited? This other friend says they were living with Dee's parents. Miss Emma Louise always kept Dee close. Similar relationship, but without the illnesses. Dee was the baby, so her mom babied her a lot, gave her whatever she wanted. So I'm going to throw in a little extra piece that I don't think anybody had really been made aware of. Dee Dee technically wasn't the baby of the family anymore. When Emma and Claude were still together, Emma got pregnant with another baby, a little boy that they named Todd. Baby Todd passed away just a couple of days after birth. That's when Emma began to fall into a deep depression, from my understanding. So I hope that kind of explains a little bit for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Someone asks, was it Dee Dee's dad who had the motorcycle accident with Gypsy? The other friend says it was after her mom had passed. Yes, it was minor from what I understand, nothing more than a brush burn. Someone says, could have been a factor in tipping Dee Dee's mental health. If mom passes, then daughter is in what she could have perceived as serious. An accident. Just thinking here. This other friend said, yes, her sister Claudia said the fraud started before she cut all ties with the family. There are record of check theft and fraud, stealing identity, credit card fraud. The original friend said, I knew Dee Dee when we were younger, went to high school together, and we were on the high school drill team. I would like to know what changed Dee Dee. She was the sweetest, kindest, loving person when I knew her. I believe when she lost her mom is when a switch was flipped. The old Dee Dee would never have taken advantage of people. And a very strong statement to hear. The old Dee Dee never would have taken advantage of anyone. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. August 5th, 2015. How many people in this group actually knew, grew up, or associated with Dee Dee or Gypsy? 3 people respond that knew her. You know me, dear, but I don't get to check often. Ditto on comment. Exactly. And then another one posted on June 19th, before this post. I went to high school with Dee Dee. We used to hang out together at school with other friends in a group. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. She didn't seem like a deceptive person, but I guess people can change over time and take the wrong path on the road of life. Someone asks, did you know her family? It has been suggested that Dee Dee's mother was controlling over her, just like Dee Dee allegedly was to Gypsy. Did you ever see anything like that? Or did she ever mention it? I can imagine it would be hard to come to terms with someone you know from your past needing a violent end and being exposed for fraud. This person said, I just knew her in high school. Friend 1. Dee Dee and I were very close at one time. We were best friends. Friend 2. I surely did. She fooled me. I thought poor Gypsy would have passed already with all the illnesses she told us Gyp had when she was little. This stuff is mind-blowing. Friend 3. Maybe not. I thought so-and-so meant who actually knew her from years past, which I did very well. But I don't come to this page often due to work. But I do try to look at the page occasionally for updates, like the extradition, court dates, charges, etc. Being from down here, I thought our news would have updates on it, but we do not. That's what I thought was being asked. Sorry guys. Blank blank and I all went to school together with Dee. Friend 4, don't be sorry. Dee Dee had a crush on me in school. Named her puppy after this gentleman. LOL. Friend 5, I knew her and she had me fooled too. The last time I saw her, Gypsy was in her wheelchair and Dee told me about how sick she was. Such a sad story. So did any of you that went to school with Dee Dee ever think of her as manipulative and controlling or vindictive? Friends say, Dee Dee was a different person 100% in school. That person died a long time ago. Evidently, and this new Dee Dee came out. This is not my friend I knew. Another friend said, Dee Dee used to be obsessed with a band. I believed it might have been Def Leppard, to the point that she told people she knew them and hung out with them, etc. I do remember that she was a pathological liar. Another friend says, loved all the big hair bands. I always thought that's where Gypsy Rose came from. It fits with all those bands, Axl Rose, etc. Another friend says, I agree with you. She definitely was a different person back in school. Someone asks, was she an attention seeker in school? Someone else says, others that knew Dee Dee have said that she followed or was crazy about a band called Gypsy Rose, a big hair band, back when she was young. And that is who Gypsy is named after. Since you knew her, do you think there is any truth to that? Some have also speculated she was named after a burlesque entertainer with the same name. A friend says she was always into the hair bands. That could be true. I honestly saw her lies in school, always wanting attention. Dee Dee in high school, she loved the hair bands of the 80s. She was always nice to me, and we did hang out at school, some with others in a group. And somewhere in life, she took a different path, and she ended up paying it with her life. Very sad ending for her. Another friend says, I would totally agree that Gypsy is named after a band. She loved Guns N' Roses, Night Ranger, Def Leppard, all of them. She always was good to me, but we were raised a few streets from each other and knew each other since we were little. In high school, we were selected to travel to California to dance at the halftime show for the Holiday Bowl. We roomed together and it is nothing but fun memories. Someone says, it is appearing to me that the change in Dee Dee came about after her mother passed. Being a habitual liar seems to have been in her for a while. One of those taxi drivers claims Gypsy told them her name came from the entertainer Gypsy Rose Lee and that Dee Dee loved Broadway plays. Friend 6. I knew Dee Dee from work with her at PJ's. She and Gyp were in my wedding. I remember her and my ex went to see Pink Floyd twice over a few years. And I did find a picture from this friend's wedding that I'm going to share with you of Gypsy and her son. Friend 3. Down here, when we say someone was in our wedding, it means that person took actual part in the wedding. Just our slang. And yes, PJ's was a small establishment in town, a bar, food, motel place. Many of the town folk worked there at one time or another. Friend 6. She was beautiful, sweet person back then. It just tears my heart out to learn what became of her and how it caused her demise. Someone asks, you went to school with her? Friend 6 says, yes. Someone asks, how did you keep in contact after school? So many questions. The friend says, no, I married young and left the area, so I wasn't around her after school, but did make contact on Facebook a couple of years ago, but hadn't spoken to her in at least 6 months. Someone says, people are saying she let herself go, evil, etc. I think this is before a mental illness kicked in, just my opinion. Friend says, this is before she lost her mom, and I just verified that, yes, she did fall into a mental collapse after the death of her mother. Someone says, this picture makes me think of a movie Carrie. She is crowned prom queen, and then she goes crazy. Friend says, except this is real and mental illness is very real, devastating when not treating. Her mom was very involved at the time of this pic, very involved all through high school and ROTC with us. Someone says, no, you're right. That was my personal opinion. Friend says she experienced depression and erratic behavior after the death of her mother, whom she was close to. I knew them both, and Dee would never take advantage of anyone prior to her loss. All of which occurred before the scamming started. There is something wrong when a person's whole character changes after a trauma, and it's not because of evil. Evil you were born with. I don't know if I agree with that statement. For the longest time, I never believed evil was born, it was created. But then Gypsy shot out of Dee Dee, and everything I ever believed in kind of changed. Someone says, I remember she came to every competition with us, traveled by our side. Yes, I have lots of wonderful memories of both of them. They adored each other. Miss all be all. We did have fun. We did. Her friend says, remember Florida for the Nationals? If it wouldn't have been for her mom, we would have been miserable. LOL. Yes, they were completely different people. I keep saying I can't wrap my head around this. The girl we knew was evidently gone a long time ago. Someone asks, she sure looks familiar in this pic. Where did she live when she was young? Maiden name? Friend says, those are my thoughts exactly. Maiden name was Petrie. She lived in Louisiana. Someone says, so her nephew Bobby saying they believed that Dee Dee was poisoning her stepmom isn't really that far-fetched then. If she snapped after her mom died, I would imagine she always resented her stepmom. It's crazy what a loss of someone can do to a person. Friend says, that's correct. I was told the same thing earlier from a different family member. Now, I want to touch on this a little bit. I still don't believe Dee Dee was doing anything to Laura Petrie, like poisoning her or anything. I do, however, believe after watching Mommy, Dead and Dearest, the hatred that Claude Sr. and Laura expressed for Dee Dee was pretty horrifying, Flush her ashes in the toilet, they said. We don't care. Nobody in the family cares. And that tells me that this Laura Petrie was probably an awful jerk to Gypsy and Dee Dee. And if that's the case, I have no doubt in my mind that Gypsy probably was the one poisoning her. And that's allegedly for entertainment purposes only. But I don't believe Dee Dee was. But what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Dee Dee's friend said, I just don't understand why her father or husband didn't get her help that she needed at that time. She and her mom were like 2 and 1, someone said. Someone asked, what is the reasoning for the divorce from Rod after such a short marriage? Friend says, that I don't know. I think only the two of them would have known the truth. I never witnessed her mom being controlling. She actually would let Dee do whatever she wanted. I remember being envious of her because my mom was so strict. They did have contact when she was here. I know Rod and Chris took them on vacation a couple of times, took Gypsy along with Dee Dee too. How could they have been on vacation and not see something or Gypsy not slip up? That, to me, is hard to believe. That I also agree with. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know they went. It was strange to me that they take the ex, but they were all civil to each other, and Dee wasn't allowing Gypsy to go without her. I asked her, Christy, how that worked. She said they were civil and did it, so they could have Gypsy on vacation too. Can't remember where. Once was Disney, I think. Also, I believe there was a time that Christy had wrote Dee Dee and said that Dylan misses Aunt Dee Dee. That only shows you Dee Dee's character and how much she really loves children. Another friend says, I personally let my kids go on vacation with their dad and stepmom. It would have been stranger if I went along, and they sure would have gotten suspicious. Weird. The friend says she was a lot younger when they still lived down there in Louisiana. Someone says, when you got back in touch with her on Facebook, did she talk to you about Gypsy's illnesses? The friend says, in general, but didn't go into details, so I didn't pry. She mentioned the leukemia and muscular dystrophy. This particular person that's asking questions right now was not a very pleasant person in any of the comment sections throughout the entire crew. Just thought I'd give a warning. So Dee Dee got to go to a real school and have real friends, but she held her daughter captive in her own home and paraded her around from a young age like a show dog. Pathetic. What year did Dee Dee try to kill her stepmom? Anyone know? Friend says her relationship with her mother was not the same relationship she created with Gypsy. I don't know who stated that her mother was controlling and similar because she wasn't. Dee should have gotten help after her mother died, or her father or spouse should have forced her to get help because the monster she became was not the girl we knew and went to high school with. Someone said to the ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing us some insight to Dee Dee and her youth. I am not condoning what she did as an adult or what happened with Gypsy, but we all need to remember that she was a human being and somewhere along the line, something in her broke down. If certain tragedies aren't dealt with, such as divorce, death, physical, mental, emotional trauma, the outcomes can be as severe as what we are all here reading about. So guys, that was a lot to take in, but I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Was Dee Dee a villain? Was it right for, in the end of all of it, for her lifelong friends to deem her a monster? Dee Dee's name deserves to be cleared. Gypsy, Christy, and Rod have villainized her long enough. It was very apparent that Dee Dee wasn't a monster, just flawed. Stick around because I made a tribute for Dee Dee almost a year ago before I even was officially making any content. I hope you will like it as I've added it to the very end of this video. Please, if you will, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Part 3 will be coming soon. Thanks guys, take it easy, see you at the next one.
Hey, you can tell the world that you're leaving, and you can pack your bags and spread your wings, and you can tell them all that it's over. But while you wave goodbye, I'll be getting closer. Without a word, without a word. And you can tell the world that you're tired, but your excuses, they won't work, 'cause I'll know